All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most mysterious, most elusive secret societies in all of history, the Rosicrucians. So, who were the Rosicrucians really? It's a question that has tied historians in knots for over 400 years now. Were they a real functioning group or just a myth? Believe me, the answers, they're anything but simple. One of the wildest theories is that they were basically a secret society of, supermen, a hidden brotherhood of masters who had figured it all out. We're talking turning lead into gold, whipping up an elixir for eternal life, and knowing all the deepest secrets of the universe. But then you have the other side of the coin. What if? What if the whole thing was just a magnificent, elaborate prank? A clever piece of satire that just kind of spiraled out of control and took on a life of its own. And that right there is the heart of the whole Rosicrucian mystery. Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, we have to go back, way back, to the early 1600s, when these mysterious pamphlets started showing up all over Europe. The big one, the one that really kicked things off, was called the Fama Fraternitatis, and it told this incredible story about a phantom founder to a continent that was just desperate for new hidden knowledge. The legend is about this guy, a poor but noble German known only as Father CRC, and his life was this epic journey. Get this, at just 16 years old, he supposedly ends up in this mystical city called Damkar, a place, by the way, that you won't find on any map. And there he learns all these incredible secrets from Arabian masters. But when he comes back to Europe ready to share all this wisdom, the learned men of the day just laugh at him. Can you imagine? So he doesn't give up. He just goes back home to Germany to start his own secret fraternity. So he gets a small group of guys together and founds the Fraternity of the Rose Cross, and they live by these 6 simple rules. But look at what they focus on. First, altruism. They had to heal the sick, for free, no questions asked. Second, total secrecy. They couldn't wear any special uniform and had to stay hidden for a full 100 years. And third, they had to make sure the order survived by finding their own successors. Their whole mission was to basically fix the world from the shadows, serving humanity without anyone knowing they even existed. And this is where the story gets really good. Fast forward 120 years after CRC has died, one of the brothers, totally by accident, stumbles upon a hidden door, a secret vault. And on that door is this incredible inscription. In 120 years, I shall come forth. Chills, right? So they open it up, and what they find inside is just impossible. It's Father CRC's body, perfectly preserved like he died yesterday. He's holding a secret scroll. The tomb is packed with lost books of wisdom, and the whole thing is lit by this strange, eternal lamp that never goes out. As you can imagine, this discovery completely re-energized the whole order and made them think, okay, it's time. Time to let the world know we're here. What a story, right? I mean, it's incredible. But is it true? Or is something else going on here? Well, scholars have been fighting about this for centuries, and they've basically landed in 4 different camps. Okay, let's start with theory number 1. This is the most straightforward way of looking at it. So, this theory says, hey, the story is literally true. Everything in the Fama Fraternitatis happened exactly as it's written. Simple enough, right? The only problem, and it's a big one, is that there is 0 historical proof that Father CRC ever lived, or that the city of Damkar ever existed. Nothing outside of this one document. And that huge hole in the story leads us right into the second theory, which is a bit more symbolic. The idea here is that, yes, a real secret society called the Rosicrucians did exist, but the whole story about CRC, that's just an allegory. It's not a biography, it's a symbolic myth designed to teach philosophical lessons. It's a lot like the Masonic legend of Hiram Abiff. It's about the meaning, not the historical facts. All right, now let's get to the most skeptical take of all. Theory number 3. This one says the Rosicrucians never existed. The whole thing was a giant fabrication, an elaborate hoax cooked up possibly by a theologian named Johann Valentin Andrié to make fun of all the occult and alchemical nuts running around at the time. But here's the crazy part. The joke was so good that people believed it, and they started forming real societies based on this fake one. Think about that. The copy actually came before the original. And that brings us to our 4th and final theory. And this one takes us into a whole other dimension. What if the Rosicrucians aren't a physical club you can just, sign up for? This theory proposes that the Brotherhood is actually a school of highly evolved masters, adepts.
who exist on an inner plane. Their temple isn't in a building somewhere, it's on a spiritual level. And the only way to reach them is if you can yourself move beyond the physical world.
So let's just lay it all out. You've got 4 theories that are completely at odds with each other. Is the society real and physical, or is it spiritual? Was CRC a real historical person, or just a symbol? And what is the Fama itself? Is it history, a myth, a joke, or a key to a higher truth? They can't all be right.
But wait, it gets even more complicated because now we have to bring another huge secret society into the picture, the Freemasons. The connection between them and the Rosicrucians, the shared symbols, these similar structures, it's just too much to be a coincidence. The two are clearly connected somehow. So the big question is, how? How are they connected? Well, there are 2 main schools of thought. The first is that the Rosicrucian masters actually created Freemasonry to be a sort of public-facing beginner's course for their real, deeper secrets. And once it was up and running, they just stepped back into the shadows. The other idea is that Freemasonry just grew out of Rosicrucianism and eventually swallowed it whole, becoming its modern successor. And look, this isn't just some wild fan theory. Major esoteric writers, like the famous Papus, said it flat out. He wrote that the Rosicrucians were the initiators of great minds like Leibniz, and that they founded what we now call Freemasonry through a guy named Elias Ashmole. He saw a direct, unbroken line. So here we are. After all this time, all this searching, where does that leave us? It leaves us with maybe the most fascinating idea of all. What if the secret was never meant to be found? Think about it. Maybe the fact that we can't find any definitive proof isn't a failure of history. Maybe that's the whole point. Maybe that's their defining feature. If your goal is to be a secret society and no one can prove you exist, haven't you succeeded perfectly? In the end, this whole enigma comes down to one big question. What exactly are we looking at here? Is it a lost chapter of our history? A brilliant philosophical joke that we're still not quite in on? Or is it a deep spiritual secret, hiding right out in the open for anyone with the eyes to see it? The real answer, it seems, is a secret they're still keeping.